Hi guys, so today I wanted to go over a little bit more in depth of a video today, talking about a 12-week deadlift program that I'd normally give someone if you're out there and you're looking to try and peak for a specific event, or if you just want to get a new PB or a 1 rep max so you can base your progression and your percentages off of that. This is the program for you. What I would do here is split it off into 3 phases. As we gradually go through the phases, what I'll do is I'll go a little bit more in depth with the rep schemes, with the exercises that I'm going to select, with some of the assistance work that I'm going to go through and why you pick some of them assistant exercises. First things first, we're going to look at week 1. When it comes to week 1, the main focus here is to try and build a big base. So what I mean by that is we're going to have a lot of volume, we're going to have a lot of variation work on your deadlifts, we're going to be putting a lot of accessory movements in there, a lot of bodybuilding movements in there, so we can try and build a lot of volume up and really get them muscles firing and kind of erase any weaknesses as we get onto the heavier sessions when we start going into the later phases. So the volume is going to be nice and high, the intensity is going to be low. So what I mean by that is we're going to do a lot of work from here, but percentage wise, we're not really working up towards your top percentages of your 1 rep max. The reason for that is I feel like you can't do both at the same time. You need to recover, you need to be coming in every week. With deadlifts, I normally just do once a week, especially if you're looking at your squats and your bench press sessions. If you're doing overhead sessions, you do leg drive through there. If you're doing any snatches, any cleans, anything like that, you really need to look at it as a whole picture. So deadlifts I stick to once a week, but we will do a lot of variations, we will do a lot of accessory work. So volume's going to be nice and high to begin with, intensity is going to be a little bit lower, and then we're going to build intensity as the phase progresses and as the whole program progresses as well. You'll see the intensity start to build up more and more as we drop the volume out more and more as well from there. So plenty of resistance work, nice high volume, low intensity, week 1 to 4. As we go into week 5 to 8, we're looking at mid-volume, mid-intensity. So we start to ramp up them percentages a little bit more. Again, I'll get into the percentages specifics in a little bit, but the volume is going to start to come down. What I find there is it's again just going to facilitate you being able to recover. You're still going to be able to get that work in there. We're going to drop some of the assistance work, but we're still going to keep some of the variation work in. So what I mean by that is, say up here you were doing your normal deadlifts, maybe doing a deficit deadlift, a snatch grip deadlift. One of the variations you might do is like a stiff leg or an RDL. We're going to keep some of them variations of the deadlifts in, but things like your lat pull downs, your bent over rows, your single arm rows, we're going to start dropping some of them off so that we can lift more weight on the big main movements, the variations and the actual deadlift itself. And then coming on to week 9 to week 12, this is really where we're peaking. This is where I see a lot of people go wrong. It can make and break your whole program here. You can get a lot stronger in this 4 weeks, or you can just ruin all the progress you've made. And I find a lot of the time there, it's again dropping the volume and going really high intensity. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's going into bodybuilding workouts and being used to the amount of volume that you've got in there, but the intensity not being as high. But people just don't like to drop the volume down. Really what we're going to be doing here, especially as it gets to the last week or 2, is just deadlifting. Nothing else onto there. The intensity is going to be so high, we're going to be hitting heavy doubles, heavy singles, really pushing up your percentages from there. And again, we're just focusing on the stimulus to build that strength there. We're not trying to focus on building muscle mass or anything like that on these weeks here. It's just peaking your strength for one specific event or one specific day. So on these weeks here, as we go through, we'll drop assistance workout, we'll drop all the variation workout. We're just going to stick to high intensity, peaking deadlifts, and then we'll build from there. So coming on to your weekly plan, what we've got here is we've got your week 1 to 4, and this is based on someone who can pull 250 kilos. So someone that's pretty intermediate, they might not be like top range if you're going into a powerlifting meet or a strongman meet, but you've got a pretty good deadlift already, and I'm going to base these numbers off of this person here. So week 1 to 4, we've got your deadlift on here. I put a couple of variations in. I put the pause deadlift in, stiff leg deadlift. You can always change them around as well depending on what your weaknesses are, but we're going to say that they've got problems pulling off of the floor. So we've got pause deadlift and a stiff leg deadlift. So your normal deadlift, we've got 5x5 here at 200 kilos. As you go to your variations, you can see here as well, the percentages drop slightly. So we've got pause deadlifts, 3 sets of 5, 160 kilos, that's meant to be there, not 100, 160. And then we've got your stiff leg deadlift at 3 sets of 5 again at 100 kilos. So pretty much 50% of what you're doing on your deadlifts from there. And obviously your deadlift is below your 1 rep max on there too. So nice low percentages to start off with. Like I said, the intensity stays low, but there's a lot of volume in here. Once we've done that, we move on to the accessory movements, the more bodybuilder movements. We've got lat pull down, dumbbell reverse fly, single arm rows and dumbbell shrugs. And they're around about 3 sets of 10 to 3 sets of 12. So on the slightly heavier stuff, the pull downs and the rows, we've got 3 sets of 10. On your reverse flies, on your shrugs, where you can move a little bit more freely without it being too taxing, we go 3 sets of 12 on there. So that is the higher volume, lower intensity phase. As we go to week 5 to 8, we stick with the same again. We've got deadlifts, pause deadlifts, stiff leg deadlifts. We're dropping the reps down slightly because the percentages are going to be higher. So we're at 5 sets of 3 as opposed to 5 sets of 5. On the variations, we're at 3 sets of 3 as opposed to 3 sets of 5 on here, but we're going to be increasing these numbers up as much as we can. Normally week to week, I try and increase anywhere between 2.5 to 5%. If you're progressing well, you can progress 5% every week, then perfect. But that's the general rule of thumb that I like to increase from there. And you can see here, we've kept some of the accessory movements, some of the big movers, the pull downs and the rows, we can lift a little bit heavier, but we've taken out some of the accessories. We've taken out the reverse fly and we've taken out the shrugs from there. So as the weight's going up, we're taking out some of that volume. Also, you'll notice here, rather than doing 3 sets of 10, we're doing 2 sets of 8 to 12. So you've got a bit of a rep range there, depending on how you're feeling. This isn't really too important. It's more about the work that we do and the deadlifts and the variations from there. As we come on down again, we've got week 9 to week 11, and this is where we solely do deadlifts. Like I said, the intensity is going to build up again, so this is where we're really getting towards that higher percentage, that 100%, especially if you're going for a new PB, and your PB is 250, but you want to pull 255, 260, you might be going up to over 100% on there because we're testing out that PB. So we've got deadlifts, pause deadlifts, stiff leg deadlifts. All the accessory movements are dropped out. And on here, we're going to be going for 5 sets of 2 on the deadlift, and then 3 sets of 2 on the pause deadlift and the stiff leg deadlift. So you can see here, you're coming in, you're doing, 11 sets of 2 reps on there. So you're looking at 22 reps in a whole workout, but it's going to be taking a lot of time, a lot of rest time in there. Nice high weights that we're lifting. And then week 12, it's a new PB, grip it and rip it. What you might find as well as you're getting closer towards there, maybe week 10, week 11, you drop out one of these variations too. One of the ones that you feel like you don't need as much in, just to ensure that you're getting that recovery in there. As soon as you start getting towards that new PB territory with your percentages, you really just need to be hammering that high number on your deadlifts, getting comfortable with that. You've done all of the hard work here. It should be nice and easy, pushing through from there, and then just focusing on your recovery, seeing how things feel. If you're still unsure about all of this here, if you want a program that will really take you to a new PB on deadlifts, or maybe it's bench press or squats as well, drop me a message and let me know. We can get some one-to-one sessions in, or I also have the app as well, which will work out your 1 rep max percentages for you. It'll work out your percentages for all of your programs on there, so you can just click onto it, see what you're coming up for the day. It'll tell you exactly what weights lift, how many reps to do, and you can progress from there. In the same format as here, these are the same programs that I use on my app. And like I said, we've got a squat one, a bench one, a deadlift one, and many, many more on there too. So this is just a little bit of insight going into how I would program 12 weeks worth of deadlifting going in for a PB. If you like this and you want to see more long form content like this, give it a like, give it a comment, and I'll see you next time.